Cub Scouts, welcome to our July pack meeting. So excited to have you here with us. This month we are going to be talking about rocket launch, which is an August activity. It's a super fun way. You get to build your rocket, use your craft skills to make something awesome, and then we get to launch it into the sky. So join me as we go through different parts of the rocket, how you set it up and get ready to launch, and some safety stuff as well. But before we get into that, here's our opening flag ceremony.
Please join us in our opening flag ceremony. Please rise and remove all non-religious headgear. Scout salute. Those not in uniform, please put your right hand over your heart. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Scout sign. Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to guard my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. At ease.
Welcome to Advancement Corner. This is part of our pack meeting where we recognize those scouts have put in a lot of hard work over the last month to rank up and earn that next badge for their uniform. So this month we've got one scout who's completed their Bobcat rank. Unfortunately, I don't have a cool hat for that, but big, huge congratulations to Devin. Way to go. You know, you still have a couple more weeks to finish up your old ranks from last year, but July 31st is that last day. Please finish those up and mark them off in Scout Book. If they are not in Scout Book by July 31st, there's nothing we can do about it. It goes straight off to council. So please make sure you're wrapping those up if you want to finish up those ranks. And that's it for Advancement Corner this week. What did the angry rocket say to the astronaut? Sometimes you really set me off. So let's get to know your model rocket a little bit better. So, at the top of your rocket, you got a nose cone. This helps make your rocket aerodynamic and fly in a straighter line. Attached to that, you've got this shock cord. And that's this rubber band that's inside your rocket. So basically what happens is when you shoot your rocket up, the engine inside has two explosive charges. The first shoots it into the air. The second causes your nose cone to go poof and come out. So the shock cord keeps the two together so you don't lose any parts of your rocket. Also attached to your nose cone is your recovery system. Now this rocket has a parachute recovery system, works pretty well. Others have just a streamer or some other device that help them come to the earth a little more gently. Your rocket body itself, this is just called the body tube. This is what the main structure of the rocket, and it would include what's called the payload would go inside there. At the bottom of the rocket you've got your fins. These help guide the rocket in a straight line. And on this one, we've got an engine mount. So that's this little metal clip. Sometimes it's a screw off to just hold the rocket in place. So that's how your model rocket is designed and works. What was the astronaut doing on the computer? He was looking for the space bar. Okay. To prepare your rocket for launch, first thing you need to do is put in the recovery wadding. The recovery wadding is just this tissue-like paper, and you just roll it up into small balls, and you put it on the inside. The purpose of this is to protect your parachute when your rocket engine is going off and pushing up into the sky. It'll actually send a charge up into your rocket that'll pop out the nose cone and the parachute. So you need to have some insulation to prevent your parachute from burning up. So once your recovering wadding is inside your rocket, you need to roll up your parachute. So fold it up tightly, bend it in half. Okay? You want to make sure that you're tightly rolling or folding your parachute so that it'll slide into your rocket easily, so that it'll pop out. But when it comes to this next step, you want to make sure you're gently wrapping it around, not too tight, so that it fully deploys when it's coming down. Okay, once we've got our parachute rolled up, we put that as well as the shock cord into the rocket and put the nose cone on. All right, next step is to put the engine in. So I've got two different types of engines here. I've got an A83 and a C63. Now these are actually the same dimensions, but if you look on the inside, you'll see that the C engine, which would be this one, has more fuel in it. So this is a solid rocket fuel. So for this launch, I'm going to use the A engine because it won't go as high, make it easier to collect, and it won't float so far because it's a windy day. So for this rocket, it just slides into the bottom. Let's push this metal clip out of the way, the engine mount, and it clips back in. The next step is to add the fuse, which looks like this. We use an electric remote control to start our rocket engine. So this goes in. This is basically the spark plug that creates the spark inside the engine, which shoots it off. So we're going to put this in. We're going to push it in as far as it goes, which isn't very far, and bend it over. Then we're going to take one of the plugs, and usually there's pink or yellow plugs in a package, and push it in. And that just keeps it from falling out. Now when your rocket shoots up, both the fuse and the plug are going to fall out at the stand. And that is how you prepare your rocket to take off. At the launch pad, take your rocket and put the launch lug, which is in this case this little tube on the side of the rocket, and just slide it onto the launch pad and slide it down as far as it'll go. Next, what you're going to want to do is take these clips and clip them onto the fuse. Now it's very important that for this to work, none of the metal is touching. If the metal's touching, it won't work at all. So make sure that the clips are not touching one another or any other metal there. Okay, so those are all set to go, and my rocket is ready for launch. So this is the remote control we use to launch off the rockets. This remote sends an electric charge down the wires and off to our launch pad. In order for it to work, there's a safety key which Grace is holding in her left hand that goes into the little hole on the remote. And to shoot it off, you need to put the safety key into the hole and then press both the key and the button at the same time for it to work. Hey Grace.
What?
What do you call a chicken from outer space?
What?
An extraterrestrial. Hey, it's time for some announcements. Last month I was really excited that there were only a couple, but since then we've kind of nailed down our summer plan and kind of the back to school plan. So we've got a whole bunch of good information for you today. The first one is we've got a pack fishing night coming up. It's a super fun activity we do at Parker's Lake Fishing Pier. Bring your own fishing rod and just join us for a relaxed evening outside. We're going to make sure we're socially distanced, either on the pier or kind of spreading out along the beach there while we're doing our fishing, but just a good chance to kind of see each other and have a short little chat. So please join us for that. That is July 15th. We also have a Kahoot Cub Scout Trivia Night coming up. This is going to be a Zoom activity, so we're going to be doing it electronically and virtually. We'll do a couple fun activities as part of that, but the main event is a Cub Scout Kahoot quiz that was created by our very own incoming Weeblo Den Chief Owen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're still finalizing that date. We'll have it on the website. It's going to be late July, early August. If you don't know what Kahoot is, it's a quiz software where you can see a question and it'll be asked on one screen, but you need a second device to put in your answer, and there's like a login ID that you use for that. So that'll be a lot of fun. That's coming up too. The pack is going to have a day camp this year. It's going to be some fun activities that we're going to do. We're still figuring out exactly the group size limits that we're going to be working with at the day of the event, so more information to come. It'll probably be in your dens, and we'll see how many activities and how much we can do. So make sure everybody has the chance to do something fun that day with the pack. So that's going to be on August 1st. So make sure to kind of circle that on your calendar for a pack activity. And then, of course, the theme of today's pack meeting, the rocket launch. You need to make your own rocket and bring it. You can get them from Amazon or Hobby Lobby. There are a lot of different designs of rockets out there. For Cub Scouts, I recommend to keep it simple. For example, this one here that I've got has a plastic tail fin set and just a quick parachute on the inside. So it's a simple kit to put together with just a little bit of gluing. But some of these rockets, especially with the wood fins, can be a lot of gluing and aligning and painting and making sure you get it right. But the fun part is when you've got your rocket fully built, you get to design it how you want. So if you want to paint it, if you want to color it, if you want to put stickers all over it, it's up to you. So that's the fun part. So first of all, you got to make your own rocket. As I'm stuffing the shock cord back in, that's good enough. Second piece, you got to bring your rocket and a motor to rocket launch. Okay, the engines themselves, you got to make sure you're getting the right motor for the rocket. Okay, most of them have the same diameter, but there are about 2 or 3 different size diameters. So make sure you're looking at the number on your motor. Well, actually look at the number on the rocket instructions to make sure you get the right numbers on your motors, and bring as many rocket engines as you want to use to launch that day. The pack will not be providing any motors that day because we've had them in the past and people have shown up with rockets that are a different size. So I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to shoot them off, so make sure you get the right size motor for the right size rocket. I also recommend only A or B sized engines. You can see it on the engine itself. This one is an A83. It relates to the amount of fuel on the inside of the rocket. A's and B's, we're going to be doing this at East Middle School. A's and B's get a nice little launch. If you get a C motor, that launch might end up somewhere a mile away. We've lost our share of rockets using C motors, so stay with the A's and B's if possible. Then finally, the other pieces that we need for this, the controller and the launch pad, I will be bringing those. So we will have those. You just need to bring the rocket and the engine. Keep in mind that rocket launching is very weather dependent. If it's a beautiful sunny day like today, we're going to be launching them. We're going to have some fun with it. It'll be great. If it's raining, let's just say cardboard tube rocket does not mix well with rain. So if the weather is looking a little sketchy, just watch out for an email from the pack and we'll let you know what's going on. It's going to be August 23rd. Make sure you're RSVPing on the website. We're going to do different shifts so that we can kind of space people out while they're at the launch. Okay, so that's rocket launch. And then we've got another really special thing coming up. It's going to be our crossover ceremony. This is really a special ceremony to recognize the scouts advancing to the next level. So if your scout was a wolf last year, they're going to be advancing up to the bear rank. And this is really where they get their new neckerchief and just an acknowledgement that, hey, you guys have ranked up and it's time to take that next step. We're still working out some of the details of how this is going to work. It'll likely be either den by den or maybe a drive-in movie style or something else like that. We've got it penciled on the calendar on August 25th, so 25th, so please plan on being there for that. And it feels really early to be talking about this, but registration is going to open for our Spooky Camp Out. This is a fun, council-organized Halloween-themed camp out. It's a weekend of just fun. We always get the same campsites up at Stern Scout Camp, which is near Annandale, and we cook our own meals, and we have a whole bunch of snacks and s'mores and all sorts of good campsite goodies. The camp out itself is October 9th through 11th. Registration information will be coming out soon. And just some overall comments on all of our upcoming events. Number one, masks are unfortunately required for all in-person activities. There will be instances like if we're on the pack fishing activity, if your family moves away from everybody else that's fishing down the beach somewhere on their own, you don't need to wear your mask. But if you're interacting with other Cub Scouts and families, you need to wear the mask. Also, make sure that you have logged onto our new website. you must RSVP for events. This way we can help control the numbers that are at them, and we need to manage that group size. As scouts, we are leaders in the community, and it's very important for us that we're doing it right. So make sure you're logging into that. You should have received an email from Troop Web Host 2 weeks ago with your user logon information. If you cannot find that, we can resend it to you. Just email us and let us know. And then the last announcement, you get to check your email. A couple weeks ago we sent an email on the 2020 fee increase, and that's coming up shortly, so you'll be receiving an email on or around August 1st from Northern Star Scouting to register for another fun year of scouting. So go back, check out that email we sent for more information on all that. And that's, oh, I got one more. Sorry, I thought we were almost done. Pack information nights. These are for recruiting new Cub Scouts. We have 2 upcoming pack information nights. These are chances for new families to check us out. If you had friends you might want to join, please pass on the word. You know, this is going to be a weird year, and we may not have our normal recruiting season this fall. You know, a lot of you guys joined after going to a school night for scouting or to the open house at Sunset Hill, for example. We might not be able to do that. So please help us spread the word, get the word out about the fun stuff we're doing via social media, your friend group, Nextdoor app, whatever. And we've got Zoom links in the pack calendar event, so just copy that and send it on to them. And as a reminder, every Cub Scout who recruits a friend to join scouting gets a cool recruiter patch they get to wear on their uniform. Alright, so that, for real, is the end of announcements today. Why did the chipmunk go to outer space?
Why?
To get the astro nut. Safety for rocket launch is pretty straightforward. We're going to have a defined area marked off by flags around our rocket launch. And the only people who are going to be allowed to go in there are when people are going in to put their rocket on the launch pad. Everybody else has to stay out, and while people are in that area, the keys are all out of the launch controllers. So, the cord on the launch controllers is pretty long, and that's plenty of room right there for this rocket launch. So, without further ado, Grace, hit it.
Why did Mickey go to outer space?
Why?
He wanted to find Pluto.
Yeah, I suppose. For today's Cubmaster Minute, I wanted to stick with the rocket launch theme. And really, who said the skies are the limit? That was said before you were born, but astronauts have shown us the sky is no longer the limit. Buzz Aldrin, who was a scout and probably more famous for being the second man to walk on the moon, said, "Set your goal high and settle for nothing less." If you want to be number one when you get older, set your goals high. The sky is no longer the limit. Aim for the stars, even if you plan to stay right here on Earth. You're building your launch pad for your future right now, and whatever job you take on right now, at home, at church, in school, in cubbing, aim for the stars.
How do you tie things in space?
I don't know how.
You use an astronaut.
Launching and building model rockets is a lot of fun. It's a cool hobby and one that you can really enjoy for the rest of your life. You've got the artistic part of building and designing and decorating your rocket. You've got the cool, fun part of shooting it up into the sky, and then you get to go chase it down. So it's just a fun, cool hobby to do. Can't wait for our pack rocket launch. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and hopefully this video had some information that helps you understand why we're doing some of the things we're doing and how it works. So can't wait to see you at rocket launch.